when you in terms of circling somebody like a prey, like you got getting ready to shoot a deer or something, and in turn using a shotgun to make the arrest. That was unnecessary and excessive violence.
He danced and shot.
Someone add something to that.
Scott Westerman said she was excluded from TriMet for stealing a purse. Are you sure it was for not paying her fare?
Yes.
We're not sure of the clear-cut evidence that was the alleged accusation by the union president, but the facts of the case, all of the facts of the case have not come out. They continue to show the incident on the video from TriMet, but the question is, what took place also previously before the video started? What actually happened? What words were said? What expressions were happened before the video actually took place? And so we do not support the young girl resisting arrest. We do say that the officer went beyond the limit in terms of using a shotgun on the young 12-year-old girl.
She was on the ground.
And then let me also share, when we talk about exclusions and we don't always have the background of why they're excluded, but the response seems to be the same. It could have been any person. And when you ask the question about a 12-year-old, give me my 12-year-old and let me see if I can manage my 12-year-old. I think officers are trained in hand-to-hand combat. If you have a 12-year-old and you just let them tussle it out, I'm pretty sure the officer would come out on top. And if an officer can't handle the 12-year-old, maybe we need to raise the bar on the physical requirements of our officers.
2 officers! 2 officers!
Yeah, Brian from the Freedom Socialist Party. Do you think this is a good incident to bring up the issue of a civilian police review board that has the power to punish, that's elected and not under control of police and City Hall?
Well, we think that there is a pattern here. As all of the cases we list, from Kendra James to Perez to Chassie, there is a pattern here that a police officer and the Portland police officers are not in turn held accountable for what? For in terms of using excessive force or deadly force for citizens. That's one of the reasons why we have so many millions of dollars in lawsuits that are taking place, and we're saying very clearly that officers, just like citizens, must be held accountable. Right. Just like the officer want to go home, the citizen want to go home too.
Right. All of us.
Do you support, given the failure of the city and the county authorities, district attorney's office, in protecting the citizens from these excessive police force cases, do you support seeking outside help from the federal authorities or from the Attorney General's office because the city and county simply can't supervise their own officers because of political considerations?
Certainly that is a consideration. I think that may be the next level move, but I think it's time to really look at an independent civilian review board that has power to call officers and has subpoena power to be able to really clearly look at cases and monitor cases because there's been a failure, a breakdown in the criminal justice system, a breakdown in terms of reprimanding officers for their excessive use of violence.
What did the rally yesterday show to you? What did it say to you?
The rally showed to us that if you wear blue, that you will be justified with any action that takes place. Whether it's an action that is unjust whether it's an action that is against the citizens of Portland, that you will be justified. And we understand that's the job of a union, to support its members, but there's a higher authority that calls from God for justice and righteousness to take place.
Yes.
What we would hope is that our community as a whole would see the state of affairs when it comes to our police department, the bureau, the union, and how these various incidents take place. All these questions are very good questions, but as a community, we've got to stop and ask ourselves, beyond saying it was in the manual, he was justified according to the manual, is it reasonable to think that 3 males is unable to arrest a 12-year-old girl without the use of a weapon, when no weapon was involved, irrespective of why she was on the bus? Is it reasonable to think that they are unable to do so? And if it is unreasonable to think that they are unable to do so, then it means that we've got to look at what are our checks and balances in terms of the oversight, and what are the response when there is these infractions. We encourage our community and citizens to be responsible in terms of the public safety of all of our people. If you know of crimes that have been committed, you need to come forth. There are anonymous ways in which to report crimes. We need to be proactive in our community about those who engage in criminal behavior. As citizens, we need to be responsible and do our part when it comes to community policing. So we call upon, as the president and as the vice president has said alike, we call upon our citizens as well as our police officers to seek a greater level of civility and of reasonableness when it comes to how law enforcement occurs, and stay within that which is reasonable for all of us.
Finally, we want to say that we support community policing. Community policing means that there's a partnership between the police and the community and the official government. We cannot do our job in any gang violence. We cannot do our job in any crime in our community when incidents like this take place that demonstrates injustice by the same patrol officers that are asking citizens to come out and report crime. We believe that if there is an accountability that has to take place in the citizens, and accountability that has to take place in the Portland Police Bureau. There are many officers that do an outstanding job, that do a great job, that do a fantastic job, that believe in community policing. But there are some rotten apples that need to be exercised out of the Portland Police Bureau. Thank you very much.